Let's see, what am I missing here? Oh yeah. Hat, check. Sunglasses, check. Pepsi, check. Notes, check. Sources, check. And thick skin, check. Let's go. Welcome back to Going to Blue Dude, everybody, and all we do here is college football. So if you're a college football fan, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. And as always, feel free to send gear to represent you and your team. Look around. That's what my background is made of. So if you want to be a permanent part of Going to Blue Dude and my background, send gear to represent yourself and your team to P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina 29657. So to answer the question in the thumbnail right off the bat, let's get it over with. Is the Big Ten regretting bringing in UCLA already? The answer is no. UCLA will make money for the Big Ten. Now that that's over with, but see, that would have made a really short video. So you know I'm going to talk about more than just that question. Now on to what I really want to talk about, and that's the attendance for UCLA football games. And that's what's made people wonder, maybe the Big Ten is regretting taking UCLA. It is an argument. But no, they're not. They're going to make a lot of money. But why is the attendance for UCLA so bad? So bad. They're undefeated. They've hosted a ranked Washington who was undefeated at the time, a ranked Utah who was projected to win the Pac-12 altogether. Why can they not fill at least half? I'm not saying full. Half capacity of the Rose Bowl. Well, there are some arguments, but I'm going to debunk most of them. Really, it comes down to one thing. So the first thing is traffic. Yes, there is a lot of traffic in Los Angeles. It can take up to 2 or 3 hours just to drive 20 or 30 miles. That is a fact. But here's the thing. If you're a diehard fan, that's not going to matter. Me, a West Virginia fan, I drive 10 hours for a home game, and I try to catch at least 2 home games per year. Now, I went to the Backyard Brawl. That's an extra 2 hours. A 12-hour drive. No, I don't drive it straight. I do take a break in Charleston. But the point is, if you're a diehard fan, then a 2 or 3 hour drive shouldn't bother you. Maybe there's not that many diehard UCLA fans. Maybe that's the problem. What about the next excuse? Weather. Oh man, it's been hot. Are you freaking kidding me? It's hot everywhere, okay? So you cannot use the weather as an excuse. I remember whenever the monsoon game between Notre Dame and Clemson right here in Clemson, South Carolina happened, it was a packed out stadium. And there was inches of rain in the upper deck streaming to the lower deck. Didn't matter. It was packed out and they stayed till the entire football game. So don't give me the weather excuse. Once again, it comes down to how many real diehard UCLA fans are there out there. Number 3, lack of success. Well, that's definitely off the table because UCLA's undefeated. And you can't use the excuse of, we haven't hosted any really good brands, any good teams. Yeah, you did. Undefeated Washington, who was ranked, and the projected Pac-12 champion, who was ranked, Utah. So you can't use lack of success or nothing enticing as far as who we're playing. And honestly, that shouldn't matter anyways, because if there's any real UCLA diehard fans, I keep going back to that excuse. But the next thing, small fan base. I really don't think that UCLA has a small fan base. The question is the diehard section. How big is the diehard section? That's where I think UCLA really struggles. They have a national fan base, although I'll have to say, I haven't seen very many bumper stickers or car flags or really anything that represents UCLA around these parts. Oh, but you live in South Carolina, Go to Blue. That's true. That's true. But I've seen stuff representing USC, Ohio State, Michigan, Texas, Nebraska, Washington, Oregon. So yeah, you can't really use that excuse either. Are you ashamed of representing UCLA? Is that why you're not representing? Or is there just not that many of you out there? So maybe we're already answering this question before I get to the real reason. And then there's the real reason. The real reason. I think it's competition. All the stuff I just said as far as not very many real die-hard UCLA fans, that may be true, but combined with the fact that the city of Los Angeles has a lot of competition for fandom, I think that's the real excuse. In the pecking order, I think UCLA falls 6. People of the city of Los Angeles have a lot of choices as far as what venues to go to, what teams to support. The first one, number one, I think the number one supported team in the city of Los Angeles, the LA Rams. And the LA Rams just won the Super Bowl. So, of course, they're going to get a ton of support right now. But they are number one. They get the most fans. I know part of that could be they have the largest stadium, but still, they are the number one draw in the city of Los Angeles right now. Number two, I would have to actually go with the LA Lakers. I know their basketball stadium isn't as big as the baseball stadium, but the Lakers, they have a really strong following. I mean, every time the Lakers play on TV, you see all the superstars of Hollywood on courtside. But here's the problem. The NBA hasn't started up its regular season yet. So, can't really count that as competition at this point in time. But, for argument's sake, for the pecking order, LA Lakers number 2. Number 3, the Dodgers. The Dodgers. LA Dodgers. They are in season. In fact, they're going into postseason play right now. So the UCLA has had to battle them for competition as far as getting fans. So that's a legitimate competition right now. Now, once October baseball is over with, whether the Dodgers win the World Series or not, will UCLA get some fans from the Dodger fan base to come support the Bruins, at least in the month of November. And I think UCLA will still be relevant in the month of November. That road trip to Oregon probably will determine their season as far as can they win the Pac-12 and maybe sneak into the playoffs? Wow. They don't have that great of a defense, but UCLA's offense is looking really, really good right now. Number 4, this is USC. So even USC has to battle those pro sports brands to get fans. But you know what? They're doing a pretty good job. They pack out that Coliseum. They have a great environment for college football. They're having great success. So USC, they're packing out their stadium. No excuses for USC fans. And that's the question that I have. Like, if UCLA's good, but USC's good, do UCLA fans actually lean towards USC? Only when USC is maybe down do they flip back to UCLA. That's a legitimate question right there. But USC number 4, number 5, the LA Kings. Yeah, I think the freaking hockey team, the LA Kings, get more support than UCLA. But the problem is, NHL just kicked off its regular season like this week. So you really can't use that excuse either. But as far as the pecking order, I would put the LA Kings at number 5, and then number 6, the UCLA Bruins. And this is explaining their biggest problems. The competition of trying to get fans when you're in a pro sports team and you have USC to compete with. But it kind of looks like that could come out in the wash, because here's the thing. The population as of the year 2020 for the city of Los Angeles is 3.97 million, almost 4 million. It might be up to 4 million by now. So there's plenty of people to go around. So honestly, is it the competition? Yes, I think that's part of it, but I think it boils down to what I've been dancing around this whole time. Die-hard UCLA fans. Not very many of them out there. I think USC has way more die-hard fans. That way they can compete with the Lakers, the Dodgers, the Rams, the Kings. They can compete with all those brands. But UCLA, they don't have the die-hard fans that USC has, so they can't pack out their stadium, much less even get it half full. But it's just weird because UCLA hasn't had this bad of attendance problems until like recently, and they're having success recently. So this is absolutely mind-blowing. Look, I've had UCLA in my top 25 since the preseason, and I got called crazy. What are you thinking going on, Blue Dude? They lost a lot from their line of scrimmages, and I get that. But that's not how Chip Kelly wins his football games. Not at all. Last year they went 8-4, so they were coming off a good season. They're returning their star quarterback, DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and they are returning most of their skilled players. And that's how Chip Kelly wins his football games. He's not a great recruiter at the line of scrimmage, but he really doesn't worry about that much. He recruits speed at the perimeter, and he recruits well at the quarterback position. That's how he wins football games. And that's why I was high on UCLA, and all of a sudden UCLA's undefeated and they're in the top 15, and people are like, well, maybe Golden Blue Dude was on to something. Of course I was on to something. I looked at what they did last year, I looked at their schedule, and I thought they were going to be a top 25 team. Now, did I think that they were going to go 6-0? No, I did not. I actually thought that they were going to lose to Utah at home. But hey, I'll take it. 10-win season, I think UCLA has an excellent shot of having a 10-win season. And if they can go on the road and beat a ranked Oregon in Autzen Stadium, my gosh, UCLA could most definitely have an undefeated season. Yes, they would still have to play USC, but that's a home game, and that's probably still going to be split 50-50. But hey, if you can go on the road and beat Oregon, then you can beat USC in the Rose Bowl. So that's a very, very important game. And of course, Chip Kelly will be playing his former team, the Oregon Ducks. So that's going to be an interesting game with a lot of implications going on there. So y'all let me know in the comments section, do you think that the attendance for UCLA will get figured out once they get to the Big Ten? And if not, is it simply because they just don't have enough diehard fans? That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now I'll see you on my next show.